guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Quel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, thank you so much for joining me today. Today I just wanted to answer you guys' questions from my last video entitled, well, it's not my last video, but one of my most viewed videos, which is why I chose LPN over RN. I was just giving my experience and kind of my knowledge and my background in that video, and I was really surprised and still am surprised of how well that video has done on my channel and how much it kind of like took off. I really appreciate you guys' positivity, giving you guys' own perspective. So in order to pay you guys back, I just wanted to answer some of your questions on that video. So if you guys want to see this video, stick around, but before you do, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and let's hop into it. Now, I know you guys are really interested in that question. It's not something that I'm just going to answer straightforward through my platform on YouTube. If you know me personally, I have no issue with telling you exactly which program that I went to. Again, that's if I know you personally. And for the most part, like, I feel really safe, and I feel like everybody has come here with good motives, but not everybody on the internet is here on good motives. This is literally could be seen anywhere on the world, and I just don't like to give too close details about like my whereabouts or where I've been or where exactly I live and everything. What you guys can do, please do me a favor and go watch another video that I entitled 5 Things to Know Before You Apply to Nursing School. I think that's what it's called. I'll make sure to link it somewhere in the cards and in the description box. Go ahead and look at that video, and I tell you exactly what you need to do in order to pick the correct school for you. Like, it's easy, step by step. I walk you guys through it. It's done okay on my channel, but I feel like it should have a lot more views. And again, I don't ever say that about my videos, but I really feel like I took the time to really explain exactly the process that I did in order to pick the right school for me, and you guys should definitely check out that video. You see little baby feet right there. That's my 3-year-old in the bed. She's reading right now. And the number one advice that just kind of pops in my head is make sure that you get into a solid study group. Some of your best teachers will be your peers. There's nothing like having a different perspective on a lesson that sometimes when you couldn't receive it correctly from the teacher, another student could break it down and say it a different way, and then it completely makes sense to you. Make sure that it's solid, that when you guys get together, you're not like talking about other things, that you're not distracted, that you're just there to study. We did this all the time on our lunch. Anybody that wanted to be a part of a study group, we would just get together. We would read 2 sentences a piece. We would kind of elaborate on things that one of us may have understood the best, and another student may have understood another section the best, so they would kind of break it down. So it's very imperative to form study groups, and it doesn't have to be the same study group. Again, you can be in study groups of multiple different groups and multiple different classes at multiple different times, or you can keep the same study group. We are in the age of technology. Don't forget that you can FaceTime each other. I guess Zoom is a thing now. You can Zoom each other. Guys can meet at like a coffee shop or anywhere else. You can meet during lunch. There's just so many opportunities to get together. I did not work as a CNA while in school. However, majority of the people that I went to nursing school with, they did work in some sort of capacity, whether it be within healthcare or where it was not. I was in an adult learning center. This was for adults. So everybody pretty much had a job. I was fortunate that I was able to not work during that time, but I will say that I was a STNA/CNA 10 years before I started nursing school, which inspired me to become a nurse. It was because I was working in a nursing home as a STNA. So probably about like 85% of the people that I went to school with did have jobs, and that's because I think the youngest person in the class was 25. I think she was the baby and she was 25. And then I think it went all the way up to late 50s, mid 50s, late 50s. And there was a class of around 20 to 25 students. So everybody was a adult learner in the class. So everybody pretty much had a job there. But I specifically didn't work as an STNA at the same time, but I was an STNA. And I'll get into that information. I actually kind of have a video on that, and I'll go ahead and link it. It's just asking, should you be an STNA before becoming a nurse? I answered that question in that video, but if you guys want more specifics, I pretty much answered that in that video, but if you want more specifics, I can definitely do another video on my experience working as an STNA. That is such a weighted question because there were instances in the school. Okay, so let me break it down for me. I love learning. I love going to school. It just makes me feel so accomplished to learn. It feeds a need inside of me of like, I love knowledge. I love school. I love going to school, but nursing school was stressful. I think every single person in nursing school had a breakdown day, a day that they just broke down and it got to them. I don't want to discourage anybody because I don't believe that you go into nursing school. I don't believe their whole point is to fail you. I feel like at least the school that I went to, the professors that were there to make sure that you become a competent nurse, but also that they're not there to make sure that you fail and they're out to get you. I don't think that was their intentions at all. As difficult as it was fulfilling that I was able to find ways in order to like learn these drugs, learn these body systems, learn the way that the body moves and works together. It was just very empowering that I was able to, though as difficult as it was, learn how to train my body to remember this information that's there. I don't even think I can put it on a scale because it's difficult. Clinicals are difficult. Going to classrooms are difficult. If you have a family, it's difficult to balance all of it. It's just difficult. I'm sorry, you guys. Nursing school is not for the weak at heart because lives are literally in your hands. But again, in the same breath, I don't think, at least the school that I went to, that the professors were there to fail people. My baby right there. Again, it just depends, I'm sure, on the school that you go to. It makes a difference if you have competent nurses. My favorite course, which a lot of nurses find most difficult, is med-surg, and that was my favorite course because my med-surg teacher was so amazing. She would just break things down so that we could understand it, but again, she didn't play and she wasn't there to hold our hands. And we would have pop quizzes. So it wasn't like easy, but the way, I think because she was so competent in what she was talking about, that it made it so that we would understand it as well. So to this day, I have all her packets. She let us voice record her. I still have all her voice recordings. I still, of course, have my textbooks from med-surg, and that became my favorite course, where some people find that difficult. But difficulty, again, it's not something that I can just say, oh, it's 8 out of 10 or 5 out of 10. It just honestly depended on the course at the time, what was going on personally at the time, and it varies from person to person. But to me, it was difficult. I ended up graduating with a 3.7, though it being difficult. You honestly just have to go into it with a love of learning. If you're there to absorb all the information to make it like top on your list, one of your top priorities in your life, you'll be fine. Have I ever worked at a jail or a prison? I have not. However, we did do our maternal clinical at one of the prisons. And that was an interesting experience. I do have a cousin that works, she's an LPN, and she does work at a prison. I won't ever say that I won't for any job at all. But as far as right now, no, I've never had any experience in that capacity as of now. The price of my school was $15,000. So I get into more details as far as why I chose that school, LPN over RN. There's other courses, or in my area, the community college has it for about $5,000 for the course, but then you still have to do all these general educations that is not included in that price, and also you have to be a STNA, which is an additional. So I thought it just made more sense just to go ahead and pay the $15,000. But I get into more details about that, why I chose LPN over RN. So if you guys want to know information on that, go ahead and watch that video. The program was exactly 1 year. It was 12 months in and out. There was not a wait list at all. You got right in. You didn't have to have any general education prerequisites. You didn't have to be an STNA. All of that was built into the program. That's why I decided on that program specifically. So 1 year, usually the ones that I've seen are between 1 year to about 18 months is usually the general consensus on the length of LPN programs. Mine specifically was 12 months. Okay, you guys, well, that is all the information that I have for you today. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Again, don't forget to subscribe, like this video. I do nursing, lifestyle, and beauty content, and I would love it if you join the family. Okay, I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.